freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We didn't pass it on to our children in the bloodstream. The only way they can inherit the freedom we have known is if we fight for it, protect it, defend it, and then hand it to them with the well-taught lessons of how they in their lifetime must do the same. And if you and I don't do this, then you and I may well spend our sunset years telling our children and our children's children what it once was like in America when men were free.
Hey everybody, welcome to episode number 320 of Gun Freedom Radio, where we engage, we educate, and we inform. We are brought to you by azfirearmsauctions.com, your nationwide premier firearms auction where you set the price on firearms, ammo, and accessories. I am one of your hosts, Cheryl Todd.
And I'm the other guy, Dan Todd. Our theme today is Arizona Stands Up, and our guest is Theresa Catherine. Theresa is the co-founder of Arizona Stands Up, a grassroots nonprofit which was formed due to the unconstitutional lockdowns and mandates issued by the government in light of COVID-19. Theresa is also a Second Amendment advocate, certified firearms instructor, and enjoys competing in the shooting sports. And she is a firm believer that individual liberty should always come first.
Welcome to the show, Theresa.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Absolutely.
Well, we've already covered everything. She said liberty always first. We're done.
Yep.
What is there to say?
Fantastic. And I think that you and I first met because of the DC Project, which is the Second Amendment, Women for Gun Rights organization here in Arizona.
Yes.
Well, it's a national organization, but the Arizona chapter. Am I remembering that right?
You are. My whole goal was to, I moved from Illinois to Arizona about a year ago, and it was just to come out here and get more involved in the Second Amendment advocacy. And I joined the DC Project. And unfortunately, everything with COVID kind of had me putting all my Second Amendment advocacy not completely to the side, because I pop in and then I always watch your videos after your Zoom meetings are done. And so you'll always see the delayed reactions or comments coming from me. But yeah, everything with COVID kind of puts all of that to the background just a little bit. But that was one of my first endeavors here in getting to Arizona. Was I wanted to stay on top of everything Second Amendment wise, and COVID threw a wrench in it.
Absolutely. As in everything, COVID threw a wrench in everything. And it always strikes me that people that have lived in states or countries where they've already lived without having access to all of their God-given rights, they come to Arizona, and those are the people that really dive in and really, do what they can to preserve and expand liberties here. And so, you mentioned you came from Illinois, you're involved in, Second Amendment stuff with the DC Project. And now is this Arizona Stands Up, which I think is kind of an umbrella, let's look at all of our liberties and try to recapture them. But you tell us what this group is all about.
Well, this, as I said before, was born out of COVID, and it, coming to Arizona, I was a little bit shocked at everybody complying with everything going on, and the gun rights world, we will not comply is a huge deal when it comes to infringing on our rights. So coming here and seeing everything that was going on and thinking I was moving to a freer state, which I will give Arizona a lot of credit. It's a lot freer than the People's Republic of Illinois. But it was discouraging seeing what was happening in terms of medical freedom and just the stomping on our rights and the sneaky ways that the government was going about, attacking the Second Amendment. whether it's, the shutting down all of the workers that aren't deemed essential, and, causing all the problems with ammo issues, and just everyone picking and choosing who's essential and who's not, and just seeing the destruction of our businesses here, and the kids, and just our rights in general, like all of them, they were being attacked, every single one of them. So that was scary to see how many people in the name of a virus were willing to just give it all up. We believe that, it's not the government's job to keep us safe. Same thing with firearms. It's not their job to determine who gets to have a gun and who doesn't, as far as, making it impossible, as it was the errors and everything in Illinois with trying to even purchase a firearm. It's not their job. It's not their role to make those decisions. And just seeing everything happen the way it did, and seeing a lot of people here in Arizona complying, and like I said, the destruction of businesses had me seeking out. Someone has to be doing something. Someone's doing something somewhere. And that's how I came across my co-founder, Julie. And we started talking and looking and searching together and studying the Arizona state constitution. And we decided, I guess it's going to have to be us. We're going to have to try to look to figure out what could we do to help Arizonans get their freedoms back. So that's how we started. And everything snowballed pretty quickly, which that's usually how everything happens to me in my life. It went so fast. And we're excited to be doing what we're doing, and especially to be getting information out to the public that doesn't seem like it's readily available, depending on what side has control over who gets to hear what.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when you moved here, Theresa, from Illinois, you didn't know that we were this kind of state that complies to the government. Well, I want to tell you, we didn't know it either.
I know.
Right.
Being Arizonans, and your program, Arizona Stands Up, is going to wake up a lot of people and realize that's not just the only rights that we've lost. You take 90% of the laws that are on the books are a violation of our rights.
Yes.
And with this mask thing, it probably is the best thing that could happen, because it's awoken the monster. We're going to fight. And when people like you, I mean, you just came here a year ago, and you're willing to stand up for Arizona. What about all the residents that's lived here all their life?
Right,
it's time for them to stand up too.
And that's our hope, is to wake people up. It's been a process for me in my waking up. I was actually anti-gun almost all my life, and it was just out of ignorance. My parents never really talked about it. They weren't like for or against. It just wasn't something we talked about. So I had, years ago, just a moment of, hey, just look into it and see what can it hurt. And that's when the ball started rolling for me down that path. So that's our goal, and our hope is to help wake up Arizonans and say, it's time to pay attention now. Enough time has gone by where it's time to get involved, because it's our fault that we got here, because we were all too comfortable and being complacent and always had something else to do. So now we don't have that anymore.
Yeah, you don't know what you have until it's gone. But
Absolutely.
what made you say, well, maybe I should look into the guns again? Did you have an event that happened, or did you just wake up one morning and said, I think I want to try this?
Well, it was interesting because it was a trip out here. My sister moved out here probably about 12 or 13 years ago. And my husband and we came out to visit, and they talked me into going up in, the mountains or whatever to go shooting. So, normally I'm always just like, no, I don't want nothing to do with that. No guns are allowed around me. I mean, I wasn't mom's demand action level, like no one should have a gun. I just didn't want them around me or in my house. I didn't care if other people own them as long as I wasn't around them. Now, little did I know about concealed carry, and there's a lot of people that do have guns that are probably around you and you just don't know it. So that one time that I agreed, I said, okay, fine, I'll give in. And I fell in love with it. And I was still scared though, because I didn't know anything about it. It was, I didn't know, I was just handed the gun and I'm like, what do I do? I didn't know how to load it and rack back the slide. I didn't know any of that. So I wanted to go back home to Illinois and take some classes and do it the right way. And a little bit of time went by because it wasn't important at that time, and I put it to the side. And then I think it was like 2017 where the opportunity came up for me to go with a friend to get my concealed carry license. So that's when everything really snowballed for me, and I started a chapter of the Well-Armed Woman out there in Illinois. I was like,
awesome.
That's how things always go. It's just fast. And I just jump in and it's like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing it.
Yes.
Well, that's awesome. If you could just teach that other people how to break free from the guns are bad, guns are evil, and just give them a chance. If you can find that way to do that, because guns are fun and they're, they help with being a responsible citizen.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
They save lives.
Save
They're
lives, yeah.
part of life-saving events every day.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you for that.
What killed me was that all of the people who were like, oh, we need laws for this and that. And when I started really digging in, I'm like, wait a second, we already have laws for that. What are you talking about? So it's that kind of ignorance. And a lot of people just believe what's told to them. Whatever they hear off the TV, and I was one of them. I'm willing to admit it, and that was a hard lesson learned, and now here we are again. Same deal, same issue. People are just listening to what their TV tells them, and whoever the media selectively puts in front of their face, that's where they're getting their information from, rather than looking into it. Look behind everything that's going on with COVID. I'm not sure if you can hear, my puppy is whining in the background.
Yeah, a little bit.
He's like, Louie, come here, puppy, lay down.
Yeah, invite him in. He's good. We have kitty cats jump on the backs of chairs, and we have all kinds of pet guests on this show. But so your journey, your when you decided to think about it again, came from a positive experience of someone taking you out for a safe and fun time at the shooting range. We hear that story so often. It's kind of like our secret weapon, here on the firearms, pro firearms, pro Second Amendment side of the debate. All we have to do is invite somebody out to the range and we've got a convert. I mean, 99% of the time, if we've done it well and give them a safe and fun opportunity out there.
It's the knowledge. Knowledge is powerful. And I mean, that can change minds. And it certainly changed mine. And I'm hoping this is something with us, with the new initiatives that we've started with Arizona Stands Up, and with that, they know that all of our volunteers know that I am a firearms instructor and that I am a Second Amendment advocate. So we talk about that, and I'm always telling them about, pay attention to what's going on with that, because if we don't have our firearms to defend ourselves, then, we're going to be in quite a pickle. So, it's everything. It's all of our rights. They're all important. And the Second Amendment, especially, that's our way to defend against not just people who are trying to come in and harm us, but, robbers or whatever, but it's tyranny. That was the whole purpose of it. And making sure everyone understands the importance of that. And I think a lot of people are starting to have those light bulb moments where it's like, okay, this makes sense. So it's that getting that information out to the public. That's the goal.
Well, they say that could never happen. Tyranny could never happen. But let's look back 20 years ago. If anybody anywhere would have said in 20 years, they're going to make it where you can't walk into a business.
They're going to shut your
You know,
business
they're going to shut
Right.
your business
The
down. We're
government.
going to say, oh, that could not happen. There's no way. And
And
so
if they tried,
yeah.
we wouldn't comply. We wouldn't
Yep.
do it. And, you know,
what it does is
guess what?
it causes politicians to become rulers. And that's addicting to them, to
Yes.
some politicians, to have an opportunity to control and rule.
Mhm.
So it's very scary. And the gun rights is a key to that, to make sure that we don't end up like that.
Right, right.
So you
They always
talked
think it's not going to happen until it does.
Yeah.
exactly. You were talking about some initiatives that Arizona Stands Up are launching this month. We are sitting in the studio on Monday, June 7th of 2021. And so by the time this is aired, these are going to be in full force
Yes.
during this month. So talk to us about what these initiatives are.
Well, we've got a handful that we're working on, but a couple are still, we're still tweaking them. But the ones that I can talk about that we're rolling out, and we're in the process of rolling them out, is the Medical Freedom Alliance. And we've got our Freedom Town Hall and the Freedom Papers. So I'll start with the Medical Freedom Alliance. We're all aware about of censorship here in America. And I mean, this is worldwide too. It's not just our country. And the information that is not getting out to the public, especially when it comes to COVID and the data and the facts and the other side, the arguments of what's going on behind the scenes. It's really hard. You really have to want to know what's going on to find it. Otherwise, what's put in our faces is just whatever the media or our government wants you to see.
Mm-hmm.
So we have all these doctors and scientists and just all these different experts out there speaking out against what's going on, and they're giving out alternative treatments, and all of this information is being suppressed. So censorship seems to be like the key here is with these three initiatives that we've come up with. And our goal is to get all of these doctors and this information out to the public without using social media, because it's pointless. I mean, we still try, we're still going to put it out there and see what happens. But if we create some kind of panel where people can listen to the other side of the argument and not just the science that, certain people want you to hear, that would start changing minds and raising red flags. And we've got an event coming up, and this ties in with the Freedom Town Hall, where we're going to use that as an outlet to get these doctors and experts in front of people so that they can talk about it, and we can get them the information, and we can say, hey, there are other remedies. And I know that hydroxychloroquine is being demonized, and the way that they are vilifying these doctors who are speaking out and saying, talking about the survival rate and everything else that you could do to help to maintain and keep you healthy. We want that information to get out to the public, because I don't know how many times I've seen people when we talk about it, they're like, huh? And it's like, do you look into it? And honestly, a lot of people don't. They just take whatever is being told to them as gospel, and that's good enough for me. Well, if Fauci says it, it's good enough for me. And we all know about, the CDC emails or Fauci emails, I'm sorry. With the FOIA request and that being exposed to the public, well, I don't know. I mean, I would hope that people are really starting to wake up and connect the dots with that as well. But we want to get this information out to the public so that we can bring back informed consent, because it's not there. It is not there. How, with people taking the vaccines, like I didn't know what VAERS was. I had no idea what that was a couple of years ago until someone brought it up. I can't remember. This was probably a couple of years ago, but I really learned more about it this past, starting in 2020. I'm like, what is that? And knowing that doctors are required to report to that. That is our government system that we use to report vaccine injury. And the amount of injuries and deaths from this COVID vaccine alone that has skyrocketed, they're not sharing this with people when they're getting this vaccine. And it's like, people need to know what they're getting themselves into. Whether or not you decide to do it, hey, I'm all about medical freedom. And if that means you want to go for it, then go for it. But they should be giving all of the information, all of it, to the person taking it. And it appears that is not happening. I don't know how many times I've seen interviews with people who've been injured, and they're saying that we weren't told this. We were told, oh, we'll get sick and we'll feel like we have the flu, and that means it's working. I mean, what other vaccine have we ever had that with, where if you feel sick and you get work, that's usually a bad thing. So now all of a sudden, it's a good thing. It means it's working. Like, it doesn't make sense. So the Medical Freedom Alliance, like we just want to get this panel out, and our first one is going to be, I believe it's June 17th, and it's going to be a panel of doctors and other people in the health field, where it's going to be a question and answer, where people can come and learn about what, ask the questions. What questions do you have that aren't being answered by the experts that are put in front of our faces?
Theresa, they started this COVID thing with so many things that we needed to do to protect ourselves. And then they realized that we didn't need to do all these things, but they were so buried in it that they couldn't back out. It would make them look like fools. So then they get the news media and everybody else to lie. They exaggerate about how many people died from that. I just read an article from Fox, which is a fairly reasonable news media, said that 25% of the COVID deaths that happened in a county in California were not COVID related.
Wow.
And so you take about all this stuff, and they just want the fear. And so by saying that you take the vaccine, that there is a chance that you could die from it or get sick from it, it's fear again. And they're just covering everything up. And it's like a kid that's told a lie. They're just going to keep lying until you beat it out of them.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Figuratively speaking.
I'm sorry.
Figuratively speaking.
But anyway, yeah, right.
We are not inciting violence.
No, oh, good Lord. Wait, that's
goodness.
the last thing we need, right?
Probably going to get that censored, huh?
Yeah. Fear is a powerful tool, and look at the bullying and everything that's going on now. Like, what are we teaching our kids with this peer pressure? Get the vaccine, wear your mask, you're going to kill grandma. All these things that we're telling our children. And I've done, I don't even know how many hours of research on these masks, and they're dangerous for kids.
Yeah.
They should not have them on their faces for, they said anything over 2 hours, I believe. And I believe we have this on our website, where if a child wears a mask for over 2 hours, that can bring about permanent brain damage. There's different things because of your rebreathing your toxins and everything. And it's just, what's on that mask. I mean, think about it. All your hot breath and everything, the moist, everything that's brewing on there. It's like you want to keep
touching it. Kids are touching their masks. They're disgusting. I mean, let's just call them what they are.
I didn't wear a mask at all. And then about December, they told me, no, you're going to have to wear a mask if you want to come in the stores. And so finally I complied and I wore a mask, and I got COVID Christmas Eve. And I tell you that
Merry Christmas.
It's a joke.
Right.
COVID.
Because you watch people.
It's a little
wear
worse
masks.
than coal.
You watch people wear masks, constantly doing this. They're constantly doing this, and then they take their mask off, and then they touch their mouth or whatever. Yeah. It's a joke, and I do agree with you that when you're breathing your own oxygen back in, that you're putting back stuff that it's kicking out.
Right.
I'm not.
We're
I'm not,
meant
I
to
don't, I'm
breathe
not a doctor.
freely.
I don't play one.
Right.
Right. We aren't meant to have that restricted breathing. And a lot of people like to, oh, well, what about doctors? They wear them all the time. No, they don't. Surgeons do when they're in the operating room, and the amount of like that sterile environment, and like people love to just throw out that argument about the surgeons, they wear it all day, every day. No, they don't. It's for a short amount of time in the operating room. And my husband was a union pipe fitter, and he always worked in the hospital. So he was always involved in running the gas lines and the pipes to those rooms that increase oxygen because of the masks. And it's much more sterile. And even then, there's a time limit that the surgeon who cannot touch that mask has to swap out and get a new mask on. And it's like, they don't stop and think about that. They're like, since when? I don't know how many years I've gone to the doctor with the flu and nobody wore masks. No one did. And if you had, like, if you were obviously hacking up a lung or something, and sometimes I would see them out and people had the option to put it on their face, but it never have we've done this before.
You're
And
right.
I would think that with the mask wearing, that increases your chances of getting COVID or some other virus because of the touching and the adjusting. And it's not, we're not in a sterile environment.
Laying them on the tables in
Yes.
the restaurant is just disgusting.
It is. Hanging them on your car, your rear view mirror, they fall on the floor. Let me just put that back on.
And
No.
the key is, like you said, if people just realize that the doctors are in a sterile environment in the first place, so they're not breathing back in that bad stuff.
Well, I mean,
So
they're
Absolutely.
excelling, but anyway, no, we could talk about that forever
Oh, yeah.
because
Hours.
it is a really disgusting thing. And then the idea of your Freedom Town Hall, I love that. Because whenever have we experienced, at least to this degree, maybe there are things that drifted past us that we didn't notice, but this this refusal, this censorship, this blocking off of counter information. Or when I was in college and, taking statistics classes and doing experiments, in biology classes and chemistry and all these kinds of things, we were always told to look at the alternative hypothesis. Don't get so locked on one idea that you can't put it on its head and consider all the things that maybe you haven't considered. It's just the way that I interact with the world.
no wonder you win all the arguments.
No wonder I always have an argument, right? And so suddenly, there's this thing popping up on every one of your Instagrams or your Facebook things or your whatever going, that's not right. Or there's something wrong with what you posted. That very thing, okay, fine. Maybe they're causing us to consider the alternative hypothesis, but that is not what's behind that. That is a form of, it's just brainwashing. It is
Manipulation.
Yes. And it's that metronome of everything that you're thinking, everything that you're posting is wrong. And we're going to send you an expert to tell you why, instead of just letting us view whatever YouTube video we want to view, or whatever interview from a medical professional or a statistician or a virologist or whatever, and make up our own minds.
Yes.
Because in almost every situation there are three sides. There's Dan's side, there's my side, and then there's probably what really happened, right?
Right.
As long as it wasn't my side, right?
Right.
No.
It's interesting because if you look at it, the fact checkers, it's always one-sided. It's like, it's always like, and I don't understand how people can't make that connection. And what my goal is for the Freedom Town Hall is to not just present my side and my beliefs. I want to present all sides so that people, it's all about informed consent. I want you to hear it all, have all the facts, evidence, and everything that you need in front of you, and make your decision accordingly with all of the information, with all of the knowledge, not just what I think and believe, but also what my opponents think and believe. And it's I would love to, like, and we're toying with this, and I'm sure we're going to make it happen somehow, is bringing in having debates, civil debates, and critical thinking again. Like, where critical thinking has just gone, like that's something that has just went away with this. And it's astounding to see, like, some really smart people just, it's like you're not even going to question, you won't even look deeper into what you're being told. Look at the numbers, look at the data. Things don't add up to you. Like it doesn't make sense to me. And it's really sad. It's sad to see that. So the goal is to get people out there, get this in front of the public so that they can learn about this and see all sides, and not just whatever the narrative wants you, to believe.
Yeah, it's just like your critical thinking thing. Let's take Illinois, because that's where you were from. And, the gun, probably one of the toughest gun states, gun laws, right? And yet they have the highest crime. Chicago has one of the highest crimes of firearms. And the other side is saying, well, that's because they're getting guns from other states.
Right.
But if
so
you
why
critically
those
think,
states, having the crime rates that Illinois, there's something else afoot here.
So, but the problem with critical thinking is that the people of our new generation are lazy, and that takes work.
Yes.
It's easier just to, what did CNN tell me today?
Yeah.
That's what they say, it's true. And they don't have to think, but they get to go and tell their friends, oh, the guns are bad, or whatever the CNN is saying that day, or Trump is a crook, or whatever. And they believe it, and they don't have to do anything.
Right. It's complacency. Complacency kills. And when I always would love it when people would bring up the Indiana argument to me, because I have on my phone all of the laws. I put it in my notes. I copied and pasted from Indiana, and I put it in my phone, and I would post it and say, can you explain to me which one of these laws doesn't already cover what you're complaining about? I'm like, it's already there. Look at it. But nobody wants to do that work. It took a long time to go through and do keyword searches for firearms, guns, and everything that I had to do to pull up. And on my tiny little phone, I did this. And that takes time. And no one, not a peep. They have nothing to say. And I'm like, because that's not true. It's not true. It's not coming from Indiana. They don't need that. Indiana has laws that covers that. And so does Illinois. Illinois has laws about crossing state lines and coming over. And there's things that you have to do if you want to buy a gun in another state and you're from Illinois. And they don't look into it. They just believe whatever the politician is up there saying. And it's just, it's complacency, and it's like you said, laziness. They're too lazy to check. They just want to believe whatever they're told, and hey, that's good enough for me.
And then what are they doing to the people that have caused a crime with a firearm? What are they doing to them? And there's another thing they ignore, because they don't really do anything to them.
Nope. Slap on the wrist and send them on their way.
Right. So let's make more laws that we're just not going to do anything about anyway.
Right.
I was having a conversation, we'll call it an argument, I guess, with somebody yesterday. And I said, just take a look at the states that are liberal controlled states that have strong gun laws, and look what's happening to the states. And then look at like Arizona and others, and they still don't believe it. They still think, no, we're in utopia. Washington and Oregon and California, Illinois are all great states.
Chaz was just
Chicago
the summer of love.
Chicago has a beautiful, beautiful area along the bay. Just, it's so beautiful. Of course it's beautiful, but that people are being shot, right? So they focus on that instead of what's really going on, and they're ignoring a lot. But anyway,
absolutely,
it's refreshing to hear stories like yours and what you're doing.
So talk to us about this Founders Committee of Correspondence, the Freedom Papers, one of your initiatives. What's that all about?
That is a fun one. And we are just, the team the writers that we have on this committee, they're amazing. And we finalized it. We have that all set and ready to go. And it's It stems from the founding fathers. Back when we were still under British rule, they were also experiencing censorship, and they needed a way to get information out to the public. So they created their own committees of correspondence to tell people, hey, this is what's going on, pay attention. And we know this is something that we want to do, that we can't use social media for. So we kind of went back and forth in our group, and we're like, well, because part of what we do also, we do this twice a month where we have in-person meetings where we learn about the Constitution and our true history, not what is not taught to us in schools. And we learned about the committees of correspondence, and we're like, we need to do this again because we need to go back to paper. Same thing with like paper ballots. We need paper again because on big tech and social media, they can censor us there. They can kick us off there. I mean, even people who were starting their own websites and having the registrar pull it and everything else, there's only so far we can go electronically, but on paper, we can print it and we can get it out and no one can censor us. So the person, the individual has the choice of whether to pick it up and read it or to crush it and throw it away. Leave it to the person to decide. So that's why we said we've got to go back to paper. This is the only way that we're going to be able to distribute this information out, that we will be censored electronically. So that's what we started doing, and bringing in just all different types of constitutional tidbits so people can learn and understand, like a lot of did you know type of information about our Constitution, about what's going on in the world, information from doctors. We just kind of packaged everything up so nicely, and we want to get an issue out every month. And in order to do this, we because none of us, we don't get paid to do this. No one receives a paycheck. This is all volunteer. It's pure grassroots. Like, I mean, we've been putting a lot of our own money into this. And so in order to push this out and get it out in print, we need to find sponsors who are willing to help us pay the printing costs just to get them out, just to get it out. Let's distribute it. And we already have, I believe, one donation coming in where we can at least get 1,000. I'm like, if I can just pass out one, I'll do it. If I have to print one out from my printer and do it, as long as we reach just one person, I'm happy. So we're working on that and just trying to find businesses who are interested, and we'll put the name of your business on the paper on the back, so you can also have exposure that way, and just get this out to the public. So again, this all ties into just getting the knowledge out there and letting people make decisions for themselves. I mean, this isn't just medical freedom wise, but it's also politically, like it's everything. We're being, there's so much suppression of information that it's unbelievable. And we want to try to keep brainstorming and finding workarounds. And we're like, this would be perfect. It's paper. They can't stop us from doing that. So that's that. We should. I'm hoping to have our first 1,000 go out soon. We're waiting for that check to come so that we can get it over to the printer and just go and run with it. So, and it looks so cool. I have to send you a copy so that you can see it. It's awesome.
Please.
I
love it.
I'm so proud of these committees and what everybody's doing.
That's fantastic. So there's this other group that's popped up now, because there's like New Mexico stands up, and I think Idaho stands up. There's a couple, and now I'm seeing America stands up. So how do those interconnect?
So that's us. Julie, she reserved that name. I'm not sure when she did it for the website, the domain, knowing that we want this movement to really spread across the country. And we want to create a website where a one-stop shop, everyone can go in, find your state, here's your connections, connect with these people, get in with these people, help them, help these groups. and just make it easy for people to find the information in one spot so that they don't have to really search around. Because some, like, I think Michigan, I don't know if theirs is Michigan Stands Up or Stand Up Michigan, you know, there's different little wording of names. And I think a couple other states have it where it's not, you know, state name stands up. So we want to make it easy and just compile all these groups on one place. So just go to America Stands Up and there you have it. Find your state and get involved.
I love it. What would you say would be the biggest win for, let's just go with the Arizona Stands Up organization?
I think just starting with 2 women, nobody's specials. We're not like celebrities or anything. Trying to make a difference, and pulling together the volunteers. I mean, because that's what it's all about, is the volunteers. Even if, like, we've talked about this before, and I've said this before in Second Amendment advocacy in Illinois, where I'm like, if I have to be the only one walking house to house and spreading the information, then it's just me. I don't care. And the fact that we've accomplished so much and we're growing, and not so much, it's not about money, and because obviously, again, none of us are getting paid. Do we need money to do things? Yes, we do. But it's about the information that we're getting out and that we're growing, and that, like, for me, learning the Constitution and the true history of this country, that I love. And I've been a student of Liberty First University, which is Chrisanne Hall. She's a constitutional attorney out of Florida. And I've been a part of that, I think, for the past 2 years, and I have my daughter learning it, because that's a must. Our kids are our future, and I'm scared what they don't know. And getting that for me is the biggest win. Helping people understand our rights and know them, because if you don't know what our rights are, how do you know that they're being trampled on? How do you know how to defend those rights? So it's just education, and we're doing it, and we're starting small, and that's another thing with our town halls, is just to bring in people to teach them, hey, these are our rights. They are natural, they are inherent, they do not come from the government, they come from God, they are gifts of God. And they're yours. The government their only job is to protect them, to secure those rights. That's it. That's it. So getting that is my biggest win, is that information getting out to others, so that we know how to fight, so that we know how to get out of this mess that we got ourselves into. Because we did this. I was asleep. We all were asleep. Now we're waking up, and now we need to figure it out. It took a long time. And we all know, with the whole death of 1,000 cuts in the Second Amendment world, well, this has been going on with all of our rights. And it's time to look at them all and stay on top of it, because while we're sleeping, our legislature and everyone else is in the background doing things that they shouldn't be doing. And that waking people up, I think that's our biggest win, is just getting this information out there and connecting people with other groups. It doesn't have to be us. If our group is a no name, whatever, I'm fine with that. I just want the information out there. I don't care. It's not about winning. We won. We're the best. We're the saviors of Arizona. It's not about that. It's about get that information out there. Let people know and learn, so that we can stand up and remind our government, you're not the boss, we are. So that's my biggest win, and what I think that we've been accomplishing, and it's growing.
That's amazing.
There are so few people that run the government, just so few compared to what we are as citizens, and we allow them to step on us like this. We're voting for people to tell us what to do.
I know, it's crazy.
It's wrong. And we should be telling them what to do.
Right.
Yes,
well,
absolutely.
That's the way it was designed, right? In our playbook, in our inheritance that was left to us by our founders, that earned the right to even put pen quill to parchment,
So
right?
we give the government the
Our
rights.
Constitution
The
and our
government
Bill
doesn't
of
give
Rights.
us the rights. We give the
Exactly.
government the rights. And right now, we're given the right to step on us.
Yes.
They are, but initiatives like America Stands Up, Arizona Stands Up, it is helping people not only, to wake up, but those that are already kind of shaken awake by this past year and a half. Okay, I'm awake, but now what? And so
Right.
you're tapping people in to some of that. Okay, now what can I do?
Right.
And I I love that whole story you just said. That whole journey is the power of what one person can do if you will just
What did that
do.
man say? What did
Do
they
it.
say on that jagged edge? What one man?
No, it's the movie's called The Edge. It's one of our favorites, and one of the lines is, "What one man can do, another can do.
Uh-huh.
What one man can do, another can do." So
That was Anthony
the
Hopkins,
very
by the way.
Anthony
Put
Hopkins.
that one across our website.
Yes, and that's my best Anthony Hopkins impersonation. So you're
Mhm.
welcome. You get that once. I hope you enjoyed it. Tell us about some of the big events you guys have coming up with Arizona Stands Up.
Well, we have a big event. We have our first town hall, which is June 17th. And of course, I don't have, I know it's taking place at a woman that we met. She owns like it's like a church building and like event center, and she's letting us use the space for free, which is amazing. And of course, I don't have the address in front of me, so I'll have to send that to you. But that's our first event. I think that it's online on our website. I'm not sure if Julie has it up there yet. But the big event that we have coming up is our September 11th event, our Freedom in Arizona event, which we are so honored to have you, Cheryl, as one of our speakers.
I'm honored.
Yeah, that's our big one for this year, and we're excited about it. And we're hoping to get some good attendance so that we can again expose people to knowledge, information, and just have like-minded people as well, all together in one place, and like just have that community feeling like that. I think like we miss that so much with everything that's gone on this past year, that we were so focused and zeroed in on just getting people together, the community. We need that, like Zoom and all this is great, but we need that personal interaction as well. So we're really excited about that. And we're hoping that we have, a pretty good turnout with that.
Oh, I'm so excited that you all put that together and on a very significant date,
Yes.
September 11th. And, then the cherry on top for me is that I get a chance to not only attend, but to speak. And it is truly my honor. So thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
that. So as we start wrapping up, we've mentioned websites a few times, that sort of thing, but let's just focus in and tell folks, how they can follow all of this work and get involved in all of this work that you're doing.
Well, we have our website, which is our main point of contact, and it's azstandsup.org. And from there, if you hit the contact us button, it's in your face once you go there. You can get a hold of us and reach out, let us know if you want to volunteer, how you want to get involved. We also have our social media pages. We've got Arizona Stands Up on Facebook, on Instagram. I think we're on Twitter. I was kicked off of Twitter because I stood up for one of my Second Amendment friends, and they kicked me off. So I don't know what that looks like. And I've been too stubborn to create a new account because I'm like, kick me off, So
I don't need you.
Right, exactly. And then we have our americastandsup.org, I believe. Let me make sure on that, because I'm pretty sure it's americastandsup.org, where you can find us or anybody. America, I just want to confirm.
Absolutely.
Yes, so americastandsup.org, where you can connect, because I'm sure there's people from other states that listen in. Find your state. Find them, reach out, get involved. And if you don't see your state up there, start your own.
Yes.
Start your own stands up movement, because that's what we need. We need people to stand up. It is time. There's no more excuses. There's no more, I'm too busy, because look where that got us.
Yes.
You know, I'm too busy, I have soccer practice or this or that. Well, while we were being too busy with soccer practice, they took that away. They said you couldn't go to soccer practice for a year. You couldn't do any of these things for a year. It's like, do we
Wow.
want that to happen again? They took
Wow.
them away once. And if we think they're not going to do it again, sadly mistaken, history always repeats. So,
Wow. That I have goosebumps. I have goosebumps. Why? My gosh, while we were too busy with soccer practice, they took soccer practice
Yep.
away. Holy moly.
right.
Yeah. The
I
other
mean, look what they've done. We wanted to, you know, go on vacation, and then until we couldn't anymore, we couldn't go on vacation. We couldn't leave the country. They were given, you know, like, look at all these things that happened that they took away from us, you know, while we were too busy. And then they took them away. Now you can't do it. Now what? You know, so it's time to stand up, America.
But if you're really good, we'll give it back to you, kinda.
Yeah, kind of,
You're
sort
really
of.
good.
Just, you need to get the jab, and you need to wear a mask, you need to stay 6 feet, and none of this stuff, you know, we can confirm or verify that it actually works, but we think it does, so just do it.
Right.
It's crazy. And we're the conspiracy. We're the crazy one.
I
What?
know.
The whole world
It's,
is upside down. I'm telling
wow,
you.
it is. Everything's
But
backward.
we are slowly righting it and putting things back in the proper order. Thank you so much for taking this time with us and for being a part of, you know, standing up and encouraging others to. So, Theresa Catherine, we so appreciate you, and we will definitely have you back on again soon.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you, and thank you for having me, and thank you guys for your support. It means a lot.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Theresa.
We will
Thank you.
talk soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. I just want to let everybody know that Arizona Stands Up doesn't mean that you have to get off your couch. If you want to be on your couch, you can still do stuff on your couch, but we need to do something.
Yeah.
And the states that don't have a stand-up program, it's not too late.
Mm-mm.
It's never too late.
Mhm.
So fight, stand up and fight.
And again, right? Because we're living in this weird upside down world. Because
Oh,
can
I
you
said
just
fight though.
say the word fight, right?
Oh.
Or do you have to then qualify what you said?
Well, what I mean by say
By
you have to use your voice, and no, stand up and fight doesn't mean you have to go out there and fist fight or whatever.
No.
Fight is to oppose.
Right. Like, so when we were in high school, and I wonder nowadays, because everybody's so, you know, triggered by verbiage, and everybody's offended by everything, and you got to be careful what you say because somebody's going to say you're inciting violence or riots or whatever. You know, we used to say this thing at a football game. We'd say, "Go, fight, win." So now do we have to get rid of the word fight?
You can't. Yeah. What would you use? Go
Play your
go
best.
play and
Win your
kind of no. You don't want to
participation
win.
award.
No, not win. Go fight and do it. You can do it, right?
Just
But
do your
Yes,
best.
just and
Remember who you are. Make wise
yeah,
decisions.
you don't need to win. You don't need to. No, it's all.
Don't know.
Wham.
It's so crazy that
Everybody
every
that
time,
participates gets a blankie.
I know every time I hear you say the word, or even myself, I say, you know, we've got to fight for our rights. I instantly, you know, remember what happened not that long ago in January of 2021 when President Trump was just saying, you know, we want to fight for our rights. We want to, I don't even remember what he said, but somehow it was twisted into this pretzel form to make it sound like he incited violence and he must be impeached for the 9th time or whatever.
Well, that's one
And
thing.
so
I
now
can't
I
be
get
impeached.
nervous and I'm like, okay, I got to
be
qualify
impeached,
the
though.
word fight.
I can't be impeached.
You can't be impeached. That's true.
But I can tell you this: that we do need to fight, and
What do you mean by fight?
I mean we need to
You
fight.
need to engage. You know what? First, you need to read your Constitution.
Yeah.
All right. That is part of fighting for your rights. And then you need to, you know, hold our representatives who are currently in office to what the Constitution says.
That's what I mean by fighting. You tell
And
the people that you
then-
vote for
yeah.
that they follow this. You know, if this country was built on this Constitution, if you don't like this Constitution, then go somewhere else, because it's like you come into my house. You want to come into my house and visit? If you don't like the way I have the house arranged, then don't come into my house. Same thing with the Constitution. If you don't like this Constitution, go somewhere else.
I mean, it seems like
Because this is our
logical,
house.
right? And so then as you are helping to support or run yourself, helping to support new people that are coming into the political sphere, that want to run for office, only support people who have read this, understand it, and support it.
And
because
swear to follow it.
right? Every single elected official swears an oath to protect, uphold, and defend this document. And if we had honesty, I think we'd be shocked how many have never
Oh,
even
we would
cracked the
lose.
cover.
We would lose
Never even read it.
3/4 of the politicians out there. And I'm sorry, there's some good politicians out there. There's some good politicians that probably haven't read this.
Well, good politicians are called public servants.
Right. So you need to, I agree with that. If we did that, half the laws on the books would be gone
Yeah.
because they're
Oh
unconstitutional.
my gosh. It's crazy. But we're starting where we start, and we're starting today, and we are going to join groups and support groups like Arizona Stands Up and America Stands Up, and whatever state you're in stands up. And we are going to educate ourselves. We're going to educate our children, and we are going to hold a standard. We're going to hold a standard. We're not going to just shift with whichever way the wind blows and that feels all emotionally warm and fuzzy.
No.
But
That's
anyway,
canceled.
canceled. That's canceled.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's cancel the cancelers. All right. We got to get out of here.
Yes.
Thank you so much to our amazing guest today, Theresa Catherine. Thank you to our awesome listeners, not just here in Arizona, but all across the nation, all across the world. We value you so much. We want to hear from you. Please reach out to us on any of the major social media networks. There's a message tab on all of them. I do keep up with those. We do read those. We want to hear from you. You could also email us at talk@gunfreedomradio.com. So we hear what you're thinking, hear what your needs are. Maybe you love the show, but you wish we did more of or less of something. We'd love to hear that. All right. Well, until next time, what are we going to do?
Now's the time to say goodbye to all our company.
You know what? I bet that's trademark. Don't sing anymore, because they will cancel our show because we don't have the rights to that.
I can't say goodbye to people, all of
Not
our
that
company.
way. No, not that way. We have to just ask people to pray for our nation, pray for our leaders, the people who are in
All of them?
positions of leadership, all of them, Dan.
Every single, even that one that you don't like.
Especially that one you don't like. Be
Okay.
good to each other. Have a great week.
And God bless.
God bless.